My name is Harsh. I work in AI for sales and marketing at Codalio. Today, we will go over a detailed overview about the Codalio Blueprint. If you are building a product with AI, but you're not a developer, this is the one install that changes everything. It gives you a CTO, a tech lead, and a PM in your corner before you write a single line of prompt. This is Codalio Blueprint, and here's exactly how to install it in Claude. So we go to the resources tab. Over here, we can see the open source section. Now, if we scroll over here, it says get it on GitHub. We click over here and it will open up the new screen where we can see the Codalio Blueprint over here. It writes you a PRD, a product requirement documentation, that is a market standard doc, real product terms. This is to get everyone, you, your developer, your AI tool aligned on what's being built, from whom, and in what order. Skip that step and you find out what's missing after you've already built it wrong. Over here, we'll go to this Claude plugin. After we go to the Claude plugin, we'll copy this URL from GitHub, and then we can come down to Claude. Over here, we go and open up this setting. Then we'll go to the plugins, and we'll go to add from marketplace, add from repository, and we'll paste the URL over here, and then we'll click on sync. Now it will automatically sync it and we can click on install. So now it's being installed. Now we close this window. As we can see, the Codalio Blueprint is over here. It has all the skills, all 6 of them, and the detailed description of it is also mentioned over here. This is a prd-builder, your product manager and CTO. Before you write a single prompt, describe your idea in plain English, and a prd-builder asks the question a good PM would ask before your team starts building. So like, who is this for? What matters most? What happens after? And it looks at your idea from 3 angles: the product itself, how it should be architected, and how you'll reach customers. Then writes it all into one PRD, product requirements document, the market standard doc that gives everyone building the same thing the moment we have an idea before the first prompt to build it. Now we'll see the first step just right now. We'll close this tab, we come over here, we put a slash and say PRD builder, and we'll type a simple idea that I want to build an application to track my fitness level. Now once we hit this, it will go and fetch all this information from the PRD builder and ask us the question. So the first question is, who is this fitness tracker you actually for? So I can just say, just me. And what does fitness level mean here? What are you actually tracking? Let's say I'm tracking my workouts, my body, and biometrics. And yeah, that's it for now. And what's the biggest thing wrong with what you use today? I think data is scattered and too much logging friction. I just want something that's personal to me, so that is what I'm going to do. Any hard constraints on platform or timeline? Um, yeah, I would go for mobile first because I'll be using much of my mobile. So based on all this question answered, it will generate a PRD that would help us to build a production level application ready in just one simple prompt. Not only that, but we also have an MVP checklist. Over here, we can use this MVP checklist right after we build the PRD and before we want to start building something. So just we don't spend months on features and our first users will never ask for, right? So something like that. And there's also a GTM-plan. When we can use this, it's just like once your MVP scope is locked and you within a few weeks of launch. So that this would be helpful, like a go-to-market plan. And we can also build a documentation generation with this, the doc that nobody has time to write. So anytime you need to hand your plan to someone else, a contractor, or a new hire, or basically just want them to be productive from the day one, we can use this. And there's also a code-to-prd. Now this is a new thing that Codalio is doing. So code-to-prd is a plugin that basically helps a user to fix their broken code. For example, there are platforms like Lovable and Emergent who gives you the code but not accurate code. So what Codalio would do is that it will take the code repository and it will then convert that into a PRD, a full spec, so that there's nothing missing. And then rather than generating the entire code from the scratch and spend thousands on new tokens, what it will do is that it will try to fix the code, and based on the PRD, then it will also fix the UI prototype and the coding pipeline as well. We have archive evaluation. So before a new client, a funding round, or anytime you're not unsure, your foundation can take the next step. So this would help you out against the requirement. Now, as you can see over here, that our PRE has been built with summary, the problem statement, the positioning, the target users. So it will list down the target user that would help us better evaluate our application. The user stories. So all those user stories, it will list out the MVP scores as well. So let's say the first would be a pre-filled session from the last performance, one tap set login with any inline edit, so things like that. And there's also version one, then criteria, the next soon after things. And there's also data architecture overview, relationships, and a go-to-market title for it. And there are still some of the open questions which can be answered further. So this is it, actually free. And this is just for the Claude. We could do it with the cursor as well. Here's something I would say. If you're starting an app, or if you're planning to build an application in whether in Claude or any open source app platform, just try out this plugin, because this won't only help in scoping the product environment, but this would also lay out the foundation on how to build an application.